Hi fellas, today we speak about the most mysterious and most important site in ancient Egypt, the so-called Osiris shaft. What we know from coffin texts from 3rd millennium BC is that in Ras Tau, in Giza, there were hundreds, maybe thousands of underground hidden chambers of the hidden ones, the hidden primeval gods, demons of proto-dynastic Egypt, tens of thousands of years ago. Strange hybrid race started to bury its gods, more like demons, there in Ras Tau, in Giza. There are more than 2,800 shafts in Giza. So why this shaft, the so-called Osiris shaft? In 1837, when Cavilla was doing the first archaeological diggings on Giza, it was labeled as shaft number 1. Nowadays it's famous as the Osiris shaft. Why it is so important? Let me first orient you where exactly it's located. These are the back parts of the Sphinx. This is the causeway toward the middle pyramid, so-called Khafre pyramid, adopted by King Khafre, built tens of thousands of years ago to hide the crash site of god Osiris underneath it. And this is the so-called Osiris shaft. It is located 130 meters southeast of the so-called mortuary temple of Khafre, and exactly 200 meters straight east behind the Sphinx, back parts. What's important to understand the great mystery of this site. Selim Hassan, local archaeologist, Egyptian, excavated shaft number 1 in 1933-34. He found, it's amazing structure by the way, he found that under the first chamber there was a shaft which led to a second chamber in which there were 7 niches, each containing a basalt sarcophagus. 2 of these sarcophagus were so giant, so enormously big, much larger than the others. Maybe these are the 2 ones which still remain there today in situ. And the next shaft under this second chamber with 7 sarcophagi, the next shaft at this time was flooded. Hassan noticed that there is another shaft which leads even deeper underground. So first 9 meters underground, then 14 meters underground, and then 10 meters underground. This whole structure is 33 meters underground. Can you possibly imagine such construction? And these are tens of tons of sarcophagi in the middle chamber. The bottom level is 33 meters underground. All of this, strangely, is under the causeway, so-called causeway, toward the middle pyramid. And one more strange fact is that Hassan describes a mastaba built exactly on the causeway. So this makes the things very strange because somebody damaged the causeway to build a mastaba which has several shafts, different layers. It's incredible. It's absolutely unexplainable site. So about this sarcophagi, the two giant ones, one of them was like 40 tons or something, made of decasit, a stone which cannot be found in Africa. So once again, the material for this gigantic sarcophagus, 40 tons, was not from Africa. Nobody on this planet can explain how this sarcophagus was built and from where it was carried to this underground chamber. Hassan even assumed that the two giant sarcophagus contained remains of sacred bulls, maybe, because they were too big to contain human bodies. There are strange signs of strange materials on one of these sarcophagi, still standing there today. I think the Dexit one, and some explorers suggest alien origin of all the materials connected, and maybe what was inside connected with this sarcophagus. Further in time, of course, Zahi Hawass, the Almighty, the one and only, the Egyptian Indiana Jones, the local divinity, he made the next excavations of this site in 1999. Notice, in 1999, when Hawass penetrated the ground up to the middle chamber, there were four sarcophagi. It's very important. 4 of these 7 sarcophagi were already missing somewhere between the excavations of Hassan in 1934 and the excavations of Hawass in 1999. 4 sarcophagi were already missing between 34 and 99. 4 sarcophagi were missing from here. Nobody knows where are these 4 sarcophagi that vanished. Nobody, absolutely nobody. Try to find scientific institutions in Egypt and authorities and ask them, where are the sarcophagi? Nobody knows. Why? There are rumors that these sarcophagi contained cartouches of Ba-e-Fre. Ba-e-Fre was the first son of Khufu, who should have ruled Egypt even before Khafre. So, if the sarcophagus of Ba-e-Fre was one of these, obviously the middle pyramid cannot belong to Khafre, which means that the Great Pyramid cannot belong to Khufu. That's why I believe these 4 sarcophagi, giant heavy sarcophagi, vanished, hidden by the authorities, because they would have ruined the whole theory of the whole Egyptology science about the ownership of the pyramids on Giza Plateau. This is extremely important. I think you understand how important this is. Hawass at least admitted that he found objects from 6th dynasty on the bottom of the shaft, which is very, very strange, because usually it's dated to the Saitic period. So how can there be objects from 6th dynasty on the bottom? A lot of lying from the local, scientists. Here you can see the original, the deepest chamber, the remains of the 4 pillars around the central sarcophagi in the deepest chamber. This place was extraordinary. At least Hawass contributed with, he touched the truth that this must be the place that the Greek author Herodotus was talking about when he said that Khufu was buried on an island in an underground chamber located in the shadow of the Great Pyramid, and fed by a canal from the Nile. So once again, Zahi Hawass touched the truth, admitting that this shaft was connected with the Khufu and his family by a fresh sarcophagi was in the middle chamber. Which of course means that the three pyramids weren't built during the 4th dynasty. Sensational. From one side of the bottom chamber, this small tunnel is trying to go out of the chamber. It looks very strange. It looks like a small ancient reptilian demon was trying to crawl out of the tomb. Don't laugh. Maybe we're touching something with such statement. And basically that's it. These days came the news that even under the deepest chamber, there is another tunnel, much bigger tunnel, going from the Sphinx to under the middle pyramid, to the place where the hidden chambers of Osiris and Sokar are, deep under the middle pyramid. The truth is out there, but I highly doubt, like most of you, that the Egyptian authorities will allow the world to know the truth about Giza. Thank you very much for your attention.